Good morning, Speed Gaming 2. Welcome to another qualifier for the SG Live Tournament 2020. My name is Tracy, and with me today is Coy. How you doing, Coy?
Hi. I'm good. Rando. I'm Rando. Rando's best.
Rando's fun, especially if we get to watch it and talk about it. But yeah, so this is the SG Live qualifying. What is this? The fifth race, I believe.
Number 5.
And we do have some interesting settings, a few changes that have come about. I'm not sure if we're going to see any quick swap usage. That's allowed now. We are going to get open boots. Open boots, an interesting setup because you get your boots, but you don't have a sword, which is always interesting.
Quick swap is an enableable option for this whole tournament, I believe. It's not as impactful. Quick swap is as cross keys, where we normally see that setting, just because the C's are shorter. But it definitely is a time save if you use it efficiently.
Okay, and we have 3 starting at Link's house. Looks like heading towards the Uncle Leviticus up top. On the other hand, Shoals are going and starting at the Sanctuary. And of course, with boots, we can go straight to the Bonk Rocks. And nice tree pull there over on Leviticus side, getting some bombs early.
That's the hospital. Let's start here with the boots.
Oh, nice. And Shoals are getting that sword. So not so worried about those boots without sword anymore, at least not on his stream. On his side, everybody else will get that relatively soon. Although, Saha start. That's don't see that as often. It's also better. Yeah, we got the boots. You can just go ahead and knock out that cave and getting a glove.
Those are not going up to check lumberjack, which is pretty unusual because that's typically something you do when you have boots. So you'll see people put it off in a normal seed where they don't start with boots, but with the boots start here, checking lumberjack is pretty much advised. But as long as it's nothing, it's fine, right?
Yep.
Where did
And yeah. The nice thing here, though, with those gloves that the 2 runners on the bottom got over at Saha, they can go ahead and check the back of escape right now.
Yeah, nice bottle to be found there. So we'll have a bottle on our first trip to Kakariko for those runners.
Always nice to get that sick kid check over with quickly.
Yeah, Chelsea unfortunately did not take that route, so he will not have the bottle on this first trip. So unless he happens to find one in Kakariko anyway, that will be a second trip for sick kid. All right, Leviticus headed up to Lumberjack now, so we'll see if there's anything up there that Schultzer is missing out on information.
That's a hammer. Okay, Aga required. Be interesting to see how required, how soon they'll get to that. Now, it's pretty common that if the hammer or one of the gloves is there, that you're going to end up needing Aga for Dark World access anyway. But, we could see another glove here pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, and the hammer's, important. It locks enough stuff that Schultzer will eventually just be locked by going to check Aghanim.
And I do believe Days Cloud just saw the other glove over at the race game, so get that early Dark World access, minus Moon Pearl. Not really my favorite thing to have Dark World access knowing you have to still go to Aga at some point. There's going to be a point if they don't find a lamp that they might just do it in the dark anyway because they know they need the item. And never mind, there's a Moon Pearl on the bottle vendor, so we have full Dark World access between the runners here.
Yeah, I'm curious if we'll get into that situation where Dark Aga looks like a decent play. The hammer is a restrictive enough item that it's definitely something you would consider doing if you had the opportunity. I am curious though when Schultzer is going to find out about this hammer, because when you do Bonk Rocks is when you check Lumberjack. I guess he'll have another opportunity, maybe like when we're going up the mountain. Like just check Lumberjack and then go back down and climb the mountain. But if we get Flute, that's not an option anymore.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, there's our cape. So,
So
hey,
yeah,
look, Dark
Aga's
Aga
available.
already a thing.
Dark Aga
I
with
don't.
fighter sword, low
Yeah, maybe
hearts.
maybe not 4 hearts.
Yeah. Yeah, not yeah, if you get some nice weapons, like I could definitely see doing Dark Aga, especially if they find a fire rod.
Oh yeah, with the fire rod,
It's
anybody who
pretty free,
has
yeah.
like it's not the most common thing to have to do, Dark Aga, even with the fire rod. But if you've done it like twice before, it's probably pretty simple with the fire rod. You just have to
And
kind of know where the torches are.
and Shoals are doing the classic. There's not going to be anything on the race game, and getting ready to menu to save and quit, and then sees, oh wait, I need to get that. So at this point, I think we're just basically retracing everybody's steps. When you get in this early Sphere 1, Sphere 2 setup, there's just not, only so many places you can go to at the beginning.
Imagine we'll see Schulzer go back of escape here and get those that bottle. But for Schulzer, going over to Sahasrarla is probably not our next play, right? Because we're pretty well equipped for South Shore now, so we'll probably see like mini Moldorm Cave and the dam at least.
Yep.
Before Schulzer goes after that extra glove. But for our other runners, it's kind of a weird situation where it's like, oh, I can go to the Dark World, but I don't really want to.
It's not. Yeah, the health 4 hearts green mail not ideal for Dark World access. Plus, you're not going to get a hammer. So, like, if you want to go do Thieves Town, there's a much better chance that you're going to be leaving that big chest orphaned. Like, it's just not a lot of good options. And 4 hearts green mail, not a fun Thieves Town anyway.
Yeah, and to do all that, you're like leaving behind a lot of Sphere 1 checks.
Yep.
Which like they may be nothing, but it's still Sphere 1. Like,
yep.
If there's going to be progression somewhere, it's probably going to be in Sphere 1. So it feels really wrong to spend too much time in the Dark World without having done something like Mini Moldorm Cave. Looks like Days Cloud is going to do a pet check. All right, let's go.
Get your pet hype going.
That's pretty high.
Oh, 8. Oh, sure, that's just bombs. Never mind. We're good.
three bombs.
All right, we're going to see that mini Moldorm Cave right here on Shoulder's side. So that'll be a new check for us. Always nice to have something other than bombs here to do this, just so you don't have to worry about your bomb count.
The left side was being a little rude. One of the mini Moldorms just didn't want to stand in that first bomb explosion.
And a whole lot of big 20s there in the mini Moldorm Cave. Also a piece of heart and some arrows. Nothing that we actually want to see. Let's see if Shoulder heads on over to the Ice Rod Cave. Also, one of the things that the early boot starts does, it guarantees that they can sequence break Zora. Now, granted, Zora itself not a sequence break, so we have the gloves. Without flippers, they can do a water walk and get the items in the Waterfall Fairy Cave if they want to. Makes it a little more lucrative, especially it looks like our money's pretty good. So if they want to just do that whole thing, they're in a good position to do it.
Very likely going to see the whole Zora sequence here from Schulzer. There's still a downside to it because you might have something on Zora Ledge that you can't reach it yet, but at least you have the consolation of knowing it's there. The Schulzer dashes out of Ice Rod Cave while up against the pit like that. That sets up a water walk. So next time we hop down into deep water, boom, just walk on water like it's nothing.
Looks like he's going to check Lake Hylia. Just a heart container. Not going to come back for that.
Not going up to Hobo, though.
Well, if Hobo's kind of slow, then you have to end up doing a fake flipper. And, I mean, it would work.
Yeah, the thing is, like, Hobo's always slow.
Yeah, it really is.
the only way that's not actually slow is to like mirror from the Dark World, but that situation it's so hard to create.
It really is, yeah.
Because you typically aren't going that way. unless you're doing like Pyramid Fairy, which you couldn't do Hobo with the big bomb anyway.
Okay, I didn't see that what was sitting there
Yeah,
on the.
I only saw one pixel of it, and it's hard to tell on the smaller screen.
Zora, a big bust as well. Fortunately, plenty of money, not going to be an issue. And in the meantime, Days Cloud decided he is going to do Dark World is already in Skull Woods.
Looks like Schultzer's headed back over to like where we would go for the lumberjack check. So hopefully we do see the lumberjack check here.
Okay, we got a lamp there in Skull Woods, so Dark Aga not as likely going to come up. Most of these runners will probably end up in Skull Woods at some point. Although Fire Rodless Skull Woods, it's one of those things that some runners like to dip, others don't. That looks like a death warp to get back to the front of the dungeon.
Okay, and Schultzer does do the lumberjack check, so we now have everyone with knowledge of that hammer, I believe. Wait, do we?
I believe so.
Days looked at it, right? Because Days Cloud was routing from the south, but I can't remember if he went all the way to lumberjack before going to the dark.
Yes, that's a good question. Okay, one of our trackers, Red Armor, telling us that Days did see the hammer.
Okay,
so
okay, that's good. Yeah, so that's super important information.
Yeah, shout outs to both of our trackers, Red Armor and Days Cloud. And one of the downsides of the quick swap is when we don't see the menus as often, a little hard to track, a little hard to verify what all the runners have done. So shout out to them for doing the hard work behind the scenes.
Leviticus over here in a Desert Palace. This is a pretty risky play.
Yeah, unless he finds a fire rod, he's not going to be able to complete this because we know where the lamp is. He's not finding that. Oh, and it was interesting. I didn't realize that it looks like Skullwoods is a pendant, so I could see some lamp skips. This is going to get interesting. We might see some Dark Aga today.
I know for some players it's really standard to just immediately go to Skullwoods, always and forever.
Yep.
I know for me, my personal preferred way to route that is I always do Skullwoods if I don't have a hammer.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If I have a hammer, though, like I'll just put off Skullwoods for as long as it takes. Well, nice rod there in Desert Palace, but it's not going to help Leviticus light those torches.
No, it's not. I mean, you want to have it. Don't have to search for it. It looks like the other item. Is going to be on Landmo, so he's not going to be able to get that either.
It's not necessarily like the largest time loss for Leviticus having done that, because it is possible that he'll just be able to mirror over to the back of Desert later.
Yeah, the downside is the Misery Mire being a pendant, not exactly as lucrative an area to go to. But yeah, I mean, if you get the Flute and Mirror, you're going to do it that way.
We're not guaranteed both Flute and Mirror is the
no, we're not.
The Swamp is also a pendant.
Yeah, we might. Yeah, it's true. No Mirror, no Flute could be a thing.
If this ends up being like a Jet Seed, we probably don't find one or both of those.
Yeah, absolutely. Trolls are also going to do the desert play. And that Ice Rod not going to give either one of them an advantage because everybody's going to find that. So
it's not super crazy for them to do this. Like especially in the early game, you like to follow your items, and the book is like, go to desert, go to desert.
Well, the book does scream that, doesn't it?
I still think like going to Sahasrara at first would have been a much safer play, especially since you have gloves. So if you have to double dip the eastern area, like at least you can go the fast way to eastern.
Meanwhile, Moogle Charm in Thieves Town. I haven't seen quite anything what he's gotten there yet. Checking out his bottles. He's got a bee and an empty bottle. Not going to be much help in Thieves Town.
It's God Pixel, though.
Nice.
The only rule about Thieves Town is just don't die before you get to the boss. Once you get to the boss, everything's easy. But he's currently in 2-shot territory with these crickets. or grasshoppers if you prefer.
Yeah, those will do 2 hearts of damage on
You can
green
see him.
now. Oh,
He's playing
they
real
are,
scared.
they are really
do not
dangerous.
blame
Oh,
him.
now, oh my god.
Yeah, this is an unfortunate spot right here. Bugnet is
I don't
not
think
going
the
to help
bug
you.
net's gonna
But,
help
okay,
you.
that was a weird choice.
I think he was just looking for something, and he really, I mean, with no magic, that cape's not gonna help either.
Makes it out of the scary room though, so everything's pretty easy to stay alive from here on, as long as you're just paying attention and reading the RNGs. Blah! Okay. That was terrifying.
Alright, Shoals are not gonna go get his glove at Eastern. Get his other glove at Eastern, I should say.
At least everybody got through the light world without having to go into Eastern Palace. Which is, you know, everyone's worst nightmare for the start of a seed. A forced bowless Eastern dip.
Especially when it is a crystal. If it's a pendant, you go in there, you hope you never return.
Oh, I thought he was about to go into Eastern. He didn't save and quit immediately.
Okay, we have a Bombos tablet check over on Days Cloud side. Just a little piece of love, so just a piece of heart. So we won't be coming back for that anytime.
Alright, Mobile Charm back up to 4 hearts on the way to blind. We followed the first roll of Thieves Town. We did not die before the boss. Now the boss will be
and he's got that fire shield, and this is one of the places where having a decent shield actually helps, because those fireballs, if he gets off script, those fireballs will bounce right off the fire shield there.
And we are off script. Ooh!
Yeah, if you can get to the 3rd round, you're usually pretty good. Oh, Moogle! Oh no! Oh no!
It's a little unfortunate, but you know, we followed the rule. We didn't die before the boss, so we can get back to the boss a lot quicker.
Yeah, and he might choose to put this off till later. Yeah,
I don't blame him with without the script available to him anymore. I mean, you could go back and re-grab the maiden.
Yep, that would reset it, but
but that costs a lot of time.
Yeah, I agree with the decision to just do it later. Now we're seeing Hype Cave, I believe for the first time. 50 rupees. Not that useful. Flipper's useful. Another sword useful. A fire rod useful. 3 good things in a Hype Cave. Wow. Although, to be fair, the flippers maybe not what you want to see in a seed where Swamp Palace is not required. Everybody here will know how to fake flipper to ice if necessary. So now that just makes it more likely you might have to dip Swamp at some point.
Looks like Days Cloud will be going after Aga here to get that hammer.
He's got a pretty good setup.
I'm a little surprised he didn't do this immediately after finding the lamp. Like before going into Village of Outcasts, and just immediately save and quit and go do Front of Escape and Aga. But I guess it's not much is lost. Like all he put off was Thieves Town and Hammer Pegs, which you can just do together right after this.
And the nice thing for him is he's got a better item set. That Fire Rod is really nice to have in Aga Tower just for offense. Master Sword instead of Fighter Sword. So that may have been his thinking to hope.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he was just hoping to find something to make the tower nicer. He didn't find any hearts, but we have a Fire Rod.
Yeah, I don't know where the hearts are. We have 2 runners, 1 runner with 5, and 3 with 4. So. Moogle taking a different approach as he's already grabbed the smith. And interesting with that mirror. I didn't see where they got the mirror. But interesting with that mirror that he didn't just turn the smith in right away. Maybe that was a dig game?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, okay. Chat confirming Kane was a dig game, so I don't know where that mirror was.
They say Stumpy.
Yeah, thank goodness for our trackers, Red Armor and Revolving Ocelot, because they did not miss the runners picking up the mirror. And Days Cloud going to just do the escape now, and then probably mirror up, and then just do Aga from there. And that makes a lot of sense. Might get a few more nice items at this point. Has already done the back, so it does not need to pick up that key. And just 20 rupees on the Smiths anyway. Ah, mirror on Stumpy. There we go.
I said that.
Oh.
Tracy just ignored me.
Apparently. So Soldier might have a little bit easier time on his blind fight. Does have 1 extra heart.
Yeah, blind just comes down to the script. The only reason Mughal had any trouble at all is when he got off script there in the end of phase 2.
And that's the hardest part of the script, is that 5th shot, getting that one right. Usually if you get that 5th one, you're going to stay on for the rest of it. Okay, that looks good. There we go.
Very clean.
Just 20 rupees for his trouble. So at least in Mughals' case, he's not going to be missing that item.
Do we know if there was something in the big chest?
I am not sure.
I'm completely incapable of counting items in my own seeds, much less in somebody else's.
Exactly.
I always end up doing like an extra menu just to find out. Wait a minute, did I find the map and compass? Of course, they don't do menus at all because we have quick swap. So
yeah,
darn it.
Okay, Days Cloud getting up Etika Tower. He'll be the first one all the way through there. Leviticus doing the Zora check now is going to be very disappointed in what he finds.
Mughal coming all the way over here to Ice Rock Cave. Probably see some flipper checks after this as well.
Yeah, he's gonna set up. He's gonna try to set up that water walk anyway, which I like. It's still faster than using regular flippers. Actually, he doesn't have the flippers yet. Never mind. So he has to do the water walk unless he wants to do fake flippers.
I wonder if he'll start considering going up to Aga after this. Like it's really reasonable for him to go to Dark Aga.
It really is, yeah. And there is that Kane in the digging game on Shoulder's side.
Are we sure? Mughal has flippers, right?
No, I don't think. Oh, okay. No, they're okay. Yeah, they're marked now. I was he's got them. He's gonna check Hobo.
It's just because he fake flippered. Is what I was asking.
Well, and the yeah. Well, he might have just forgotten. It certainly happens. Stored the water walk. Nice.
So because he has flippers, he can't actually take the water walk with him to the Zora area, because as soon as you step on shallow water, it just turns you into regular walking, and then you start swimming. So it was weird that he went all the way down to the fake flipper spot to enter the water and preserve his water walk, because it didn't make a difference either way. Either you water walk to Hobo or from Hobo.
Yeah, it looked like the I forgot I had flippers.
Yeah.
It happens. Yeah, that was a very quick check of the pyramid ledge. Looked red, so probably red rupees. And
I would have said it looked like the King of Samaria, but they have that.
they have that already.
The screen's so small. It's
I
hard
might
to
have said
tell.
this. Yeah, I might have said the same thing if I didn't know they had Kane. Well, that and the fact that he didn't go get it. You know,
Yeah.
that's Kane.
Or maybe
You're not.
maybe he just doesn't
You're
like
not
it.
leaving
It's
it.
like I don't need I'll just get it later.
Uh,
Kane's not that important.
and we see Days Cloud rushing to get that hammer.
Yeah, Days Cloud, the only runner so far to dip into Skullwoods and get that lamp. Now the only runner to get the hammer following it. So looks like Moogle Charm's going after Aga though.
Yep, gonna do it in the dark, partially. I mean, with the fire rod, there's some nice lamps there that are conveniently located. Kind of funny because with version 31, they added the logic that if a room has a torch, and you have a fire rod, then it's in logic. Now, the funny thing about Aga Tower is the two rooms that have the torches are the rooms that you really need to be able to light up to make it easier. But there are plenty of rooms around them that do not have torches, and that is why it is not. The fire rod does not put Aga Tower in logic. You need the lamp for it to be logical access.
He may still choose not to do it after seeing that there's no lamp here in the front of Escape. It's really not a dark room that you ever put any time practicing.
Not really, you know.
It's more of a thing like if you've been playing the game for years, then you start to learn it. But I'm sure Moogle Charm's been playing for a while. So.
Yeah, I know for me, there's a nice web page with a bunch with all the dark rooms on them, and for Aga Tower, if I do Dark Aga, or for Pod without a lamp, I tend to pull that up, and it helps to navigate around. Meanwhile, we have Leviticus in Tower of Hera, so that's some new checks for us.
Yeah, but no hammer, so we're not going to be able to reach the east side of Death Mountain after
Nope.
this. And we know we're not going to find a lamp here.
I suppose the hook shot could show up. Although that's another, with the Swamp Palace being a pendant, hook shot could be just about anywhere. And I don't know which of these runners can hover, so that could become a storyline later on.
I think something like the hook shot would be it feels like a good thing when you find it, but from our perspective, it's not, because it just puts you farther and farther away from going to get your hammer.
Mm-hmm.
And we get the hook shot, we go to East Death Mountain, and that's great. We can get a bunch of checks there, but now things like Mimic Cave or Turtle Rock and Spike Cave, they all become a little more orphaned than they were before.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. We do get a small key on Moldorm. I did not see if Leviticus got 2 items, so if not, then there's one on the basement. That's never fun. You always have to make the decision, do I go back in for that basement item or do I leave it?
And we are going after Dark Aga with Moogle Charm. That is what is happening, 100%.
We'll see if Scholzer does the same thing.
Really, the only difficult dark rooms here are the ones that have the torches. So if you just can find those torches with the fire rod, then everything throughout Dark Aga is pretty simple.
Yeah, like I said, the rooms that keep this out of logic with the fire rod are the easy ones.
So the first dark room, you start at the top of the room and you just move down to the left side and go through the doorway. Pretty simple. The guards can get in the way, but they're not too much trouble. But in this dark room, what you want to do is you step down a little bit and fire rod to the left. But how far do you step down? It's not always easy to see. There we go.
There it is. Moogle a little bit low on magic though, so a lot of times I like to fire a second one, just make sure those torches stay lit a little bit longer, but he's gonna have to save that one for the next room, which is a little more tricky because it's got pits in it.
The catwalk room is pretty fun to do in the dark because it's not super hard to find the torch, because you just walk up to and you can poke the barrier right above you after you exit the doorway, and then you step left, and the torch is right there. But
Yep.
there's a bunch of guards that they really don't like it when you start poking things with your sword. So if you take too long, suddenly guards are just hassling you from all directions. He gets through it just fine, though.
Yeah.
And that's the last arc.
That's
We're
it.
done.
Yep. The rest of it's easy. We're supposed. Well, I'm not gonna say easy because we are on 2.5 hearts here, but yeah, he should be fine. Could really use a magic drop right now. That fire rod is just so nice to have against those red guards.
Why did they not light a second torch? Let's see. I would have lit the second torch, like he said.
Yeah,
Every
Shoulder
time.
has plenty of magic, more than enough to light multiple torches.
Oh, and it was just a map in the Thieves' Town Big Chest, so nobody's missing out on anything.
Okay, Soldier did have plenty of fire rod shots, and then
He
he
did.
managed. Now he still
that
got a
was
couple
before
left he
you-
could use in the guard.
It wasn't the torch he was looking for, but he got a torch, period.
Got one. And you can see how those fire rod shot just one shots the red guards.
Cal gets a little off script there, but puts the cape to use. And down goes Blind.
Nice boomerang usage over on Shoulder's side, knocking that blue guard off with the red boomerang. Okay, Leviticus finishing up Blind.
It was 3 of 4 runners lost their script at some point. Blind's having a heck of a day.
You know, I would even say it's almost worse to try and stay on script when you have to, when you're on low health like this, because you're thinking about it more.
Oh yeah, I always make the most mistakes when it actually matters. You don't mess up the blind script when you have like 12 hearts, right?
Yeah,
It's only when you have 3 and 4 and 5. It looks like Leviticus will be going into Skullwood, so that will be our lamp. So only 2 Dark Agas today.
Moogle choosing to do the castle after Aga. Or maybe he's saving. Oh, okay. I think he was just double checking whether Dark Cross had an item or not. Yeah. Right, that's 3 runners having finished Aga and gonna go get their hammer.
Yeah, we'll probably see Leviticus go after Aga right after this Skullwood dive.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Got that lamp, so he'll have a relatively easy time. He even has 6 hearts, as opposed to the 4 and 5 that everybody else seemed to have at the time. This seed being very stingy with the health.
Just to answer chat, the Ice Rod was in Desert Palace, which Leviticus and Schulzer dived looking for Darkworld access. So they'll both have to go back to finish Desert Palace because Lamo does have the second item.
Oh, we're gonna get a catfish check over here on Shoulder's side. And just a piece of heart, he doesn't want it. Normally, I would totally agree with that, but only on 6 hearts, I might have just grabbed that.
I think we're past the worst of it. As soon as
That's
they get
probably
to
true.
East Death Mountain, it's going to be hearts everywhere.
Well, they got to be somewhere.
So we found out from Days Cloud that the hookshot is in Graveyard Ledge. So this check here Schultzer's doing to do
Ooh,
King's Tomb is very significant
it
because he
really is.
hasn't gone to Skullwoods yet, right? But now that he has the lamp, he doesn't really have much reason to go to Skullwoods. And if you already did the boots checks, the only time you come over here to do Graveyard Ledge is when you're doing Skullwoods.
Yeah, he's probably If he does, I don't see him getting that hook shot anytime soon. So if he's not a hoverer, that's going to be a real bad place. When you don't do those boots checks from the dark, it's hard to get back to that Graveyard Ledge. Seeing Days Cloud doing the Harapot.
The main hope here is that some other item is out of the way enough that Schultzer just goes to Skullwoods looking for that instead.
Mm.
I guess it could be in Skullwoods, right? We only found the lamp there, or did we find both items?
I believe we just found the lamp.
Yeah, so if that's the case, say, for example, like a required Quake medallions on Pendant Mothula, right? Then Schultzer would be the one in a good position, and our lamp runners would not be as comfortable.
Yep. Schultzer buying everything in the store.
Because why not?
He's got the money for it. And he's going to go back for more.
Oh, we're doing Ice Palace then, is that it?
I guess so.
That seems like the play if we're buying 2 potions.
I don't know. I would, for Ice Palace, I want to have some extra magic on hand. I think I would get some blue potions, but that's so much further out of the way without a flute.
Ice Palace. Definitely not the worst call or anything. Like, especially with Icebreaker, Ice Palace is a very fast dungeon that doesn't get much faster.
Icebreaker just completely changed Ice Palace. Although, I have experienced newer runners. Just a PSA: learn the bomb jump. Don't get me wrong, Icebreaker is great. Should learn to do that too. It makes Ice Palace so much nicer. But I have won races because I've played opponents that did not know how to bomb jump. So.
Yeah, Ice Palace bomb jump definitely remains the more important tech, just because it's useful more of the time.
You can always do it. You can't always do Icebreaker. And if the cane is on Cold Stare or something like that, it's not hard required because that's not what the developers intended Ice Palace to be. But trying to do Ice Palace the intended way is just no, just don't want to ever do that.
Schultzer not hitting the switch though is a little concerning.
Yeah, this can punish him if he gets the items and the big key is in iced tea.
Yeah, like most of the time, your third item's just on Cold Stare anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But sometimes the items are accessible really, really fast, and you're like, oh no, now I have to go find the big key.
Yep, exactly. Now, if you're in go mode, you absolutely want to hit that switch. That's a non-negotiable because you definitely don't want to be searching for the big key. But at least in his situation, not in go mode, he is going to check everything. So it looks like he's not going to get punished for it because we're just seeing a bunch of small keys so far. Meanwhile, Leviticus doing his Aga play, and we're seeing some Dark Death Mountain from Moogle Charm. We might find out what his hovering prowess is. We'll see if he tries to get these other chests after getting this first one. First one is in logic with Bonks. He's going to go for it. No, he's just going to go get the floating island item, looks like, instead.
Which I guess was something, because they're both going after it.
Yeah, that must be something. Days Cloud also. It's a
nice.
It could be something.
Worth.
That's the kind of item you don't want to see in places like that because you just don't know. It could lead to 20 rupees or it could lead to. I guess what are we looking for at this? We need a bow. and possibly medallions. Oh, TR looks like TR's Quake. So yeah, so we need a bow and a Quake.
Well, Schultzer just found the Quake medallion, so there you go.
Bow mode. Of course, the nice thing with the progressive bow is at least there's 2 locations for bows. Now, whether both locations are accessible, it is not unusual to find a bow lock bow in pod. The second bow could be in GT, so it may be they're forced to find one specific one. Worst case scenario on something like that is when you see a bow on ped or lumberjack or something, and you just don't know for sure whether you're gonna have to go get it. But since we have no idea where it is, that's not an issue here. Looks like not a whole lot in Ice Palace.
Well, except for that required medallion.
Oh, yeah, that's the Quake. We do need that. And Shoals are going to save some magic here using the Bombos. We'll have a couple of Fire Rod shots for this. Otherwise, we'll have to use the Master Sword, make this a much more difficult fight.
So we're on green mail. So a single hit from one of these puffs will do 4 hearts of damage.
He can get hit once. He's fine. He's got bottles.
Well, now he's in 1-hit KO. 1-hit KO? Okay, we're good. Everything's fine. Nothing to worry about. We got this. And last item on the boss, of course.
Just
as
bombs.
It always is.
Okay, so Ice Palace did pay off with that Quake. Everybody will most likely get that.
Yeah, Quake's fairly on the way.
Yep. Like
the big question right now is the hook shot. The hook shot is the thing that's out of the way. But it's also Pendant Swamp, so not everyone needs it.
Yeah. Yeah, again, don't know which one of these runners can hover or which ones can't. So it's going to be interesting to see. Because, when you get to the end, you've got all 7 crystals, and I personally can't hover. I just go into GT and hope that either I find the hook shot or I get locked out quickly from the hook shot being in GT. Never feels good when you get that early big key and you go all the way up the tower and you get to Moldorm 2 and you still don't have a hook shot. That's not fun.
Days Cloud picking up red mail there in Spike Cave, and I imagine Desert and Ice Palace will be his next plays. Days Cloud, one of our 2 runners who has not been to Desert yet.
See where he heads now.
Looks like Ice Palace.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense for him.
I don't know, I would have done Desert.
Yeah. Looks like he's going to check the hobo first.
They both have required progression that we know of, but
yep.
I don't know, I just like there's 100,000 things you could find to make your Cold Stare fight better. But you have the Fire Rod, so it's not like Lambo's getting much easier.
Yeah, Fire Rod Lambo is pretty darn nice. He may be just hoping for that flute to do Desert from the backside. I could see that a little more if Myra were a crystal. Myra being a pendant, that seems like less of an ideal way of routing this.
Oh, you think he's holding out for possibilities?
Maybe, yeah.
Back? It's possible. I guess he has the overworld checks around here with Ice Palace as well. This is his trip to Ice Rock Cave.
And Moogle back in blind. More hearts, a Master Sword. This will be much easier. If he really gets in trouble, he's got a blue cane. This won't be a problem.
And Moogle Charm does breathe a sigh of relief as the last item was on the boss and not in the big chest.
Shoals are gonna get red mail in Tower of Hera. Okay, let's see what Moogle does next.
Is Days Cloud not doing Ice Palace?
Perhaps. Oh,
Oh, we haven't done.
he hasn't
Oh
done
yeah,
any of these.
casual 44-minute mini Moldorm cave. Yeah, that makes.
I
okay.
love plays like this. Unfortunately, he's not going to find anything useful here.
I don't know about you, but I like to wait until 44 minutes in the seat to do my 5-item Sphere 1 cave.
Yeah, I'll just have to keep that in mind next time I play. That'll be the play.
All right, Moogle Charm heading over to Graveyard Ledge. Very important find.
Gonna get that hook shot. I know for me, anytime I see that pendant Swamp Palace, I start thinking, oh no, where is that hook shot? Is this going to be a hover seed? So when I find that hook shot, it's just a big relief. So we have 2 runners with and 2 runners without.
It's surprising Days Cloud tunes all this overworld instead of just going into Ice Palace. I mean, it's pretty efficient overworld. Like it's like we were saying, it's all Sphere 1 and everything.
But I feel like doing this after desert. Do desert, then I don't know. I could see doing it before ice because of, like you said, it's just so many things that can make your Ice Palace better. But
all right, Days and Moogle Charm both entering ice at the same time. Days Cloud kind of low on magic though.
Yeah, it's not a good. When you play the regular game, there's a lot of enemies that drop a lot of magic in Ice Palace. When you play the randomizer, because the price packs are all random as well, you might literally have no enemies dropping magic at all. So if you don't go in Ice Palace, does not have a whole lot of pop magic, so it's a little bit tricky then. Oh, okay. So the big key was in the first chest. That's why, yeah. If you have to get the big key right away, then not hitting the switch makes a lot more sense than you're guaranteed not to have to go search for it. We didn't see.
I see.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And we see Days Cloud going to go ahead and hit the switch. Moogle Charm chooses not to. I don't think anybody's quite timed out what the time differences are if you do or don't hit the switch in these situations.
I mean, it all depends on like where the items are and stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Like hitting the switch is a lot faster than going to Ice Tea.
It really is. But I'm sure at some point someone's going to go figure out what the percentage chance of it hurting you and what the damage would be. There's always people that like to do that sort of thing. And there's that Quake for Moogle. He's going to do a bomb jump to get to the Ice Tea area.
It's going to be a while before we see anybody do a swamp, though, I think. Which is our likely home for one of the bows.
We have everything for Swamp Palace, which is not a good feeling.
I can't imagine anyone's going to do it before having done both.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Ice and desert. And then 2 of our runners who don't have a hook shot, they may not do swamp even then. Because if you don't have the hook shot, something like bowless pod looks a lot better.
Yep. And like I said, with the progressive bows, it is not unusual to find one of your bows bow locked in pod. It does happen. Also, TR is a popular place for bows as well, so might see an earlier TR play. Then obviously you always want to do TR last and take it into GT. Just sometimes it's just not a
Oh yeah, they'll
thing to
do TR before Swamp.
Oh, for sure. Okay, Leviticus is going to finish Desert now, it looks like. I think he got mixed up which room was which. I do that sometimes and went for the wrong pot there. Although usually for me, it's the second room I mix up, not the first one.
Moogle Charm does have blue mail, so Cold Stare does not do 4 hearts of damage anymore. Just 3, that's all. Ow! Still alive.
Nice double hit on the sword spin. And finishes the last puff off with the hammer. Days Claw having more fire rod shots. Well, had more rod shots left.
Schultz are headed into Turtle Rock.
Interesting doing this before Desert. We're about to see what's the second item in Desert is.
Yeah, Schultzer was one of our runners who had gone to Desert previously.
Yep.
So
it's only one item.
It's a lot more appealing to wait for the flute from his point of view.
And it's just bombs in Desert anyway, so that's going to pay off for him, at least in the sense that he not a bow there. So
I won't get punished for it. And we could find a flute here. Yeah, Schultzer goes the wrong way, realizing, oh yeah, no hook shot.
No hook shot.
Turns around in time. So Turtle Rock, one of our big areas left to look for that no mode bow. And the thing about Turtle Rock is, if there's progression in Turtle Rock, it's probably on Laser Bridge.
Pretty much. I mean, it's kind of similar to Pod in a way, in that you have to have a lot of keys up front. So there's not a whole lot of room for other things there. Like, this has to be a key at this point because Shoulder does not have a key to go forward.
Not the way he wanted that room to go, but gets out of it. Oh, rude chain chomp. Move! Get out the way!
Chain chomps are the worst. Okay, Leviticus, our last runner into Ice Palace. And unfortunately, since we still need to look for stuff, we are not gonna be able to steal the key here. Oh, but it's a tempered sword, so that's nice.
Friendly sword.
Yeah, for me, the difference between the master sword versus tempered sword fight, especially if it's Silveros, but even if it's not, it's just so significant. So much. For me, it's a bigger deal to find that tempered sword than it is to find those silver arrows. Also, having that tempered sword for Trinex will be really nice for the runners as well.
Yeah, tempered sword is like it's not defense, right? It's all offense, but it's so much offense that you don't feel like you need defense anymore.
Yep.
Like, I'm honestly more comfortable on 7 hearts green mail tempered sword than I would be on like 14 hearts red mail master sword. Right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. We'll get to see what Mimic Cave has for us today.
Everybody found the ice rod. Yay.
And an ether medallion, which gives us all our medallions, which means if we do find a flute, we'll be guaranteed to put Misery Mire into play.
Aw, there's no way though, right? No way.
Never say never.
No one's going to Mire.
No, I sure hope not.
Don't be silly.
This is where, at this point, even if I'm one of the runners that has put off finishing Desert, I don't want to see that flute. There's just too much stuff there that someone becomes into logic that just don't want to deal with it. Bad enough that Swamp Palace is completely open.
Yeah, if we get the flute, you just go over and do the overworld real quick, and then you're like, fine, I'll go to Swamp.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, I think going into Mire would be a little like Monka-esque, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Shoals are showing us the dark room of Turtle Rock. This one's not too bad. The nice thing about those rails is once you get past one of the points where you have to have the controller in the right direction, you can just change the next direction and just hold it until you get to the next direction change. So if you know how to hold the controllers, you can just go ahead and it's pretty easy. It's something you do need to practice at least once, though.
I do remember when I was so new to the game that I thought you had to wait until the intersection to hit the directional input. Yep. So like if you're off by just a few frames, you're like, and then later you find out you can just hold it the whole time.
Oh my god, if that were the case, that would just change that room so much. It would be horrible. And once again,
you basically couldn't do it in the dark if that was how it worked.
You really couldn't. We see Moogle Charm and Days Club both in finishing up Desert, so they're pretty much staying step in step with each other.
Yeah, both of them ran out of magic. Unfortunately, Fire Rod is a much faster way than the Master Sword spins here.
Yeah, Masters. We'd like to have at least Tempered Sword when you come in here, but that Fire Rod makes it pretty easy until you run out of magic. Leviticus gonna finish up Cold Stare here.
Don't die, please. Oh my god.
Yeah,
that's not helpful there. Woo! We got it. Okay, we're good. Everything's fine.
Still no bow out of Turtle Rock, so Shoals are going to finish up Trinex here, and so unless there's a bow here, he's going to have some decisions to make.
Yeah, and I don't see him choosing Swamp at this point, right? With no hookshot. But, like I was saying earlier, it might be okay that you don't get the lamp and the hookshot early if it means that there's something else hidden that might drive you to checking Skullwoods anyway. Because I think from his position right now, Skullwoods and Graveyard Ledge look like really good checks. Followed by like Pod or something.
And we haven't seen any of Eastern. That would be the ultimate troll. They go into Eastern, the bow's right there.
Yeah, because we were so happy that we didn't have to go into Eastern, right? In the early game, and then for the game to like force you there would be really frustrating. I've known people. They're not typically like people that what am I trying to say? There are some people in this world who just go into Eastern for no reason. They're weird. But they exist. They happen. They are people who are.
Well, I know your aversion to Eastern. I don't particularly like it either.
It's not my aversion to everyone's aversion to Eastern. Nobody wants to do Eastern with no bow. I just complain about it more than everyone else.
Oh, okay. I get it.
Look, the 20 rupees. Nice.
Yeah, so that might be the boots, but I'm not sure. I guess because we had the opening boots and they got to put something in there for it.
That's the item that replaces the boots in the pool.
Yeah, because if for any of you that have played the casual boot seeds in the ladder, that actually places the boots somewhere. And what's really weird about it is it actually can place the boots in a place that's not logical. All
right, I'm gonna complain real quick. I'm really good at complaining. It should just be 5 rupees. There's no reason to make it a distinct item. You shouldn't have to know where the item is that replaces the boots because it doesn't mean anything logically. Like that's not where the boots would have been. That's just where the item that is in place instead of the boots ended up, right? So why is it not just 5 rupees?
Well, frankly, I'd rather have the 20 rupees and the fake boots in the other version. So at least there's that. Because what happened?
Sahabot
The boots
used
come.
to just do an empty chest, but people would complain about it, so he ended up replacing it with the green 20.
So the funny thing about the when the boots show up on the ladder seeds is you get all excited because you got the boots and you're like, wait, I could have done. Oh, you start first thought is, wait, all these things I could have done earlier because sometimes it's in a spot where you could have gotten it a lot earlier, and then you switch to, oh wait, I have those already.
All right, everyone making their way to Turtle Rock. Unfortunately, going to be super empty.
Yeah, and Shoals are making the decision to go do desert before doing those other things. It is one more item, so makes sense to just go ahead and do it, knock it out, and on the off chance, we know it's not the bow. He doesn't know it's not the bow.
Yeah, so the question really comes down to what is everybody going to do after their current dungeons? So for Schultzer and Leviticus, they don't have that hook shot, so going to Skullwoods or Pod looks really good. But for Days Cloud and Moogle Charm, like Swamp is by far the most attractive option, but it's still Swamp. So
yeah, still Pendant Swamp.
we may see some other plays instead still.
And I believe we've only seen one ped check, so a lot of times you'll route Skullwoods with the idea of mirroring over to ped to check it, since they all have books to do that with.
Oh, Samus's bunny sprite is a Metroid. That's cute.
Yep.
That's really cute.
I've often said that my favorite part of the special, all the different sprites, is not the actual sprites. It's finding out what the bunny sprites are and some of the other little details that go with the sprite changes. That's one of my favorites. Okay, so everybody's going to be on Tempered Sword now. So I mean, Turtle Rock, mostly a bust, but that Tempered Sword gives it a little bit, and it's a crystal, so it's not like they went in there for nothing. So it's
it's not even just a crystal. It's a crystal that has 5 items, right? So even if it didn't turn into progression, you don't really feel behind for having made that play, because you're pretty sure everyone's going to do that before something like Swamp.
Well, and also Turtle Rock not the best go mode dungeon anyway. So
Mogul Charm's really good at this game, you guys. He just got the best RNG for the double pokies. I wish I could do that. Teach me your ways.
Okay, and Schultzer is going to go get his lamp after he's done a whole bunch of stuff that.
Yeah, this is a really important play that Schultzer's making here to get this Skullwood stipend, because this leads to our Graveyard Ledge check, which has the hook shot. Although this could also be bad. Like, what if Schultzer goes to the back of Skullwoods and finds a bow? Do you walk all the way back through Skullwoods to check Graveyard Ledge, or do you go full clear 2 crystal dungeons?
You full clear 2 crystal dungeons.
Oh no!
Oh no! The hand.
Well, that's frustrating.
So he's going to check this big chest, hoping it's the item. Of course, not. We know it's not. Actually, the chest he left is not either. Looks like he's just going to abandon it. I don't blame him. Go ahead and check the rest of the dungeon, and you can always come back and just fall through the pit or something if you want to. And he's going to continue. No surprise.
It's a pretty upsetting situation, though. Like, because that might be your second item, and you're just gonna go kill Mothulin for no reason.
Yeah, he doesn't know it, but it's going to turn out okay for him.
Yeah, it's gonna be fine.
Now, do you go and kill Moth first, or do you go check the under the bridge in this situation?
I check the bridge. 100%.
Yeah, same. And Schulzer seems to agree with us as well. So it's
I
3 for
mean,
3.
you do Moth first in a situation where like you're gonna do Mothula anyway.
If it's a crystal, yeah, absolutely.
Like it's a crystal or a green pendant, or like pet is required or something like that. But in this situation, you want it to not be on Mothula. See, now if he had checked that other chest, he would have known that was a small key, because Mothula can't have a small
that's
key.
right.
Gosh darn it.
The darn hand. So getting him little screw him a little bit in more than ways than one.
I'm actually a little worried that this is going to be a bow. I mean, even if it is a bow, he may go after Graveyard Ledge anyway, just to be thorough. But like, I would leave in a heartbeat.
Oh, same.
And just assume that the hook shot's in the bow dungeons.
Or hope the hook shot's in the bow dungeon. I mean, like I said, Swamp Palace a pendant. I'm always worried about that hook shot until I get it.
Quick fight.
Yep, very nice fight.
It's
just 300 rupees, so not an issue.
Okay,
it's a lovely red pendant for his troubles.
And with no bow, I feel like you definitely go over to Graveyard Ledge now. Oh no, Moogle Charm's out of magic. No, Moogle Charm.
Oh, yeah. No, you can just death warp.
Die or
wait. Oh wait, well, okay. So this would put him.
Yeah, we didn't
outside
go,
the big chest,
so
we're okay.
The big chest. It's not that far.
It's better than save and quit and having to run up the mountain. There are plenty of places to pick up magic.
You have no magic. You gotta go get magic. Go left. Go. There you go. There you go. Bottom left pot here has a small magic.
Yes.
Oh,
and it's a nice drop too.
As well. That works.
Yeah, the cane fortunately doesn't use up a ton of magic, so this will get him through the dark room, and then he'll be able to just pick up the big magic right before the boss.
All right, Schulzer is going up to Graveyard Ledge, so we will get that hook shot. And then from Schulzer's position, Swamp looks really good. Days Cloud agrees, going into Swamp now. Leviticus, however,
going for the pod
still
play.
Without that hook shot, pod looks a lot more appealing. Leviticus is in a unique situation where he did already do the front of Skullwoods and got the lamp, but hasn't done Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah, and I don't know if he's bought a potion or not. See if he's going to want to do that potion glitch. Of course, you could do Mimic Clip without the potion. It is a.
I wouldn't stress over it that much. I mean, like, it's possible to find a bow behind the bow like that, but it's less likely. Like, if I saw Pod was completely bow locked, I would immediately leave.
That's fair.
Or on the other hand, I've seen enough.
I've seen enough bow lock bows though. It's actually one of the things that makes the progressive bows a little more annoying. Like there are good things and bad things with it. And the fact that you could have that bow lock bow, I think in this situation, when that's your go mode item essentially, I'm not a fan, because then it's like, if all you're looking for is a bow, then yeah, obviously if you're bow lock, you just leave. No questions asked. But he is pre-opening the door there, so I think he's gonna go for it.
Yeah, I feel like I would have done that anyway, just out of habit.
Yeah, there's that too.
Even if I was like, oh, there's no way I'm doing the bowlock side, I would still bomb that just because I always bomb that.
Where are you going?
Yeah, I don't know what the plan here is because we don't have a small key.
Yeah, so
yeah, it's bow locked like this. The rest of the
sentence we're bow locked.
He's gonna find out real quick. Bonk. Oops. Wait. Oh yeah.
It happens.
So this is a really unfortunate situation for Leviticus here, because after you made your way all the way to pod, you came all this way and you got nothing to show for it. How do you not go into Eastern, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, you have to do Eastern from this position. Or at least I would feel like you'd have to.
Oh yeah, for sure I would too.
You don't have to.
We don't, no, there's no rules that says you have to do anything.
It makes sense to do it.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah, very nice diver down. Oh, there it is.
There is our go mode bow.
And Daze Cloud gonna mirror out with that bow. I did check the other chest just to make sure, you know, it might be something good.
Like the other bow.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been cute. That would have been so cute.
Oh, that would have been so funny. There could still be a bow here in Eastern. We don't know. If Leviticus doesn't find one, then he's gonna have to reassess and figure out what to do next. I will note that depending on where that other bow is, it looks like the hookshot is hard required, since that was behind the hookshot in Swamp Palace.
Yeah, unless Leviticus gets super lucky here and finds a bow. Although, honestly, finding a bow here for Leviticus may not be super lucky, because he still doesn't have that hookshot.
Yep.
And finding the bow would just mean he goes longer without it.
Like I said, he could go all the way through GT without that hookshot. Depending on what that key is.
That's the play, right?
Worst.
Like, if he gets a bow here,
sure.
that's the play. You can't. It makes no sense to do anything else at that point. But most likely, our other bow is just in GT.
So Shoulder's gonna find his bow shortly. Let's see, where is Moogle Charm going? Probably gonna do that shovel check.
Yeah.
And he'll have a decision to make after that. And sees that 20 and doesn't want it.
And that is go mode for Schulzer as well.
He doesn't even bother checking the other chest.
Yeah. Just trailing a little bit behind Daze Cloud, mostly just the walk to pod. And Leviticus with the final check. Just a map.
Yep, looks like gonna save and quit. No? Not gonna save and quit.
I don't know what else he has left.
Unless he skipped the big chest, that would be weird.
Oh, he did.
He did skip the big chest, okay.
I do this sometimes as well. Because, like, I can't remember if I got the big key or not, so I just skip the big chest, assume that it's vanilla big key.
Well, I once in a big mistake walked right by the big chest, and it turned out to be my mitts. Oops. But that was not on purpose for sure.
Moogle Charm not willing to do Swamp Palace.
No, going back into pod.
Headed over to pod.
Yeah, Leviticus also going back into pod, and this time looks like he is going to go for the sequence break here.
And no bow locked, or at least no bow on the bow lock side. There could still be a bow in the back, I suppose.
Leviticus having trouble with this. Oh, he's going for the clip because he doesn't have any potions. I usually see them going with everything on the opposite side, so it looks kind of funny, but I'm sure it works in either way.
You know, I don't know. I've never seen it done on this side before. You're right, everyone always does it on the other side.
You want to talk about exactly what he's doing here?
So he's doing a series of one-frame inputs to cause the Mimic to turn one further pixel into the wall. It has to do with like the way their movement works. So like we turn him on a dime. So like from standing on the exact same position, he's facing one way, and then when he turns to face the other way without moving, and then when he tries to move up or down, it pushes him one pixel into the wall a little bit. And if you do this enough, you get him so far into the wall that he clips outside the boundary of the room and just goes off screen. And because the door is dumb and can't tell the difference between dead mimics and unseen mimics, the door will just open and let you by. What makes
Go ahead.
Yeah, what makes this difficult though is if you mess up, the progress that you've made on the mimic clipping into the wall will reset to an earlier point. So it's not just do a bunch of one-frame inputs; it's do a bunch of one-frame inputs in a row without messing up.
Yeah, you notice Moogle also doing a clip, but he had a bottle, so he had a potion. So did the potion glitch, which is much faster. And also note that the big key was in the worst possible spot for go moding this dungeon. I don't know why Shoulder's going out of his way to check the big chest here.
I mean, I guess he just wants to do the dark maze in reverse, but
Oh yeah, there you go.
I just like there's
yeah,
no.
he could have gotten it by
You don't
now,
really
but,
need to do this.
You know, now especially not with the mirror. But he'll get the big key a little bit faster. Not really faster because
because it took him
he
so long.
It took so much time to do the bomb jump there.
Clipping through the switch blocks is called what do they call it? Like stair extension or something?
Yeah, that's the glitch.
I call it the POG clip. It is the POG clip. That is its official name. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. POG as in PogChamp, clip as in clip. But I don't really know like the technical reason for why it works. But if you just have a Samaria block on screen and then you dash, turn from near the pit, it'll push you through the stairs.
Yeah,
it's pretty simple to perform. It saves about 8 seconds, I think, over bonking and sword beaming.
Leviticus doing everything to avoid going into swamp.
Yeah, it's kind of an unfortunate situation because, like, swamp is like the place to be, right? It's the most dense thing you have left in the whole game. It's obviously where the bow is, but it's still swamp, right?
Yeah, it's still pinned in swamp.
So the problem with swamp is if that's not the answer, if the odds are wrong and it's actually somewhere else, and you go to swamp anyway, it's such a huge time sink. So I can see it being very appealing to not go there, even though it is the most likely place for a progression. For Leviticus, though, like swamp's not even like on his radar because he doesn't have the hookshot anyway. Swamp is way worse.
And we do have to finish up Eastern. For those runners in go mode, I kind of like the finish up pod first, Eastern second, just so you don't have to worry about your arrow count so much. You're going to use plenty of arrows on Armos Knights. Probably not going to make a huge difference depending where the big key is, though.
You said it backwards.
I did say it backwards. Eastern first, then pod.
Yeah, because so for like the Armor fight, it's going to cost you 18 arrows minimum.
At least.
If you don't mess up, it's 18 arrows. So the most arrows you could leave Eastern with is 12. But you don't use arrows on the Helm's Sword fight with this equipment set, so you can pick up like an easy 10 arrows on the way to the boss. And then you could finish with like 21 arrows instead of 12. It usually doesn't make a big difference. Like 10 arrows is pretty much fine for getting to Ice Armos, depending on how you route GT. What with arrows in pots and just random arrows you find in chests. But it is nice to be assured you're not going to get screwed by arrows. Rather than
the argument for doing pod first and Eastern, although it doesn't apply here. I guess maybe it does apply a little bit because they killed Aga. The idea of fluting straight from Eastern and not having to mirror. In this case, if you save and quit out of pod because they have the mirror and they killed Aga, it would put him at the top of the pyramid. And so that's one less mirror or one less mistake. Because I know for me, a lot of times I forget. It's like, so save and quit and oops, it's not where I want to be. And Moogle's still with that bow, diving eastern, hoping to find one.
That's going to be the other dungeon item here, though. Leviticus finally does find that hook shot. Swamp looks a bit more appealing now. Probably see that next. Yeah, looking for the bow in the bow dungeons is a very high risk, but potentially high reward kind of play.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, it didn't pay off for our runners today.
Yeah, and doing it this late when you're just looking for the bow, like the sequence breaks through pod are a lot more powerful if it's early and you're looking for other items, and maybe you can't even finish pod, but you want to clear it out and get in the big key early so that when you do go back to finish it, you have that big key and you go right to the back. But in this case, it's just the bow. So you'd have to have that bow lock bow situation, which can happen, but trying to rely on that maybe not the best call in the world. So Days Cloud gonna be the first one into GT. Are we doing the big key guessing game here?
I have no idea.
Well, whether it's formal or not, you guys can all put your numbers in chat.
Yeah, it's like, who cares? Just go for it. Do you want me to do it?
Yeah, go for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are headed to Ganon's Tower. In Ganon's Tower, there are 22 item locations, one of which will contain the big key that we need to finish this seed. If you would like to guess in which of those locations the big key is waiting for us, put your guess in the chat now, 1 through 22. We will follow Days Cloud as he is the first one to get into GT. And yes, the torch does count, even if he doesn't pick it up.
Okay, looks like Leviticus is finally headed over towards Swamp Palace.
Yeah, Moogle Charm really doesn't want to go to Swamp.
Does not want to go there.
It's so unfortunate. I mean, after you put it off for so long, it feels like you can't go there anymore.
Starting with a small key on the torch. Oh, there's our silvers.
Haha.
That's very unfortunate for Moogle Charm. Still trying to avoid Swamp Palace. And it looks like we're going to get some Dark Magician strats, although, again, Dark Magician really means go all the way to the back. I don't think we're going to see Days Cloud do that. We'll probably just mirror out after he does the Compass Room.
We call that Pink Magician.
The Pink Magician, yep.
Which is a very confusing name if you, like,
Yeah.
haven't been watching Rando for forever.
Okay, looks like Moogle is finally giving up and gonna go into Swamp Palace.
Did he hit that Gibdo with his block while he was carrying it? What happened there? That was so weird.
And we get a gold sword. And it's not there. Looks like Shoals are also doing the same big key route.
Yeah, so Dark Magician routing was a routing popularized by a runner named Dark Magician, where you would go all the way to the Southwest Room, mirror, and then go full right all the way through to Ice Armos. And then a variation of it, Pink Magician, is where you mirror after Compass Room, which was popularized by a different runner named Pink Kitty Rose, PKR. But like, if you're not somebody who has been watching Rando for forever, it's not really clear that Pink and Dark Magician are referring to people. And so it's kind of confusing.
But at least going this route, you get your gold sword, you get your silvers. So it's gonna be a pretty easy Ganon fight for these runners. At this point, the one luxury they don't have would be the half magic. That'd be the one thing it'd be nice to pick up at this point. Okay, we are going towards Rando Room.
Oh, Leviticus doing left side.
Ooh. And there it is.
All right, and the number chest that it was in was somewhere between 1 and 22. Pretty sure.
I want to say it was 15.
I have no idea. So Leviticus doing left side swamp here is it's really indicative of the time because we have that dive bomber strat now, so it's slightly faster than it was before to do left side first. But left side still costs a ton of time, even if it's a little bit faster.
Yeah, with that dive bomber, I see a lot more runners do left side early. You almost never saw. I mean, it's a pendant dungeon, so you might have done it anyway. Just because you don't have to go to the back.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty fair choice if you're still looking for a bunch of items, right?
Yep.
Like, and it's likely you're going to do left side swamp no matter what anyway.
Yep.
So you might as well do it first and save your 10 to 15 seconds, whatever it is.
But definitely seeing that a lot more now with the diver down and the dive bomber than we did in the past. Gold sword nice in the gauntlet. Sword beam's not so nice. Okay, sword beam's gone.
it's the bad thing about having to do the refill room. Like you're in that situation. Like you want the refill because you don't want to die in the gauntlet, but you also don't really want sword beams. No. And there's no good way to quickly lose your hearts.
Yeah, and Days Claw went and picked up a heart, got his sword beams back, but then he managed to miss one of the hearts in the next room. That's a slightly different setup location for that. Works really well though, because you just got the nice, quick Landmo 2 fight. Usually people see setup in the middle or on the top.
Yeah, it's all about timing. You want to find some way to consistently hit Y so that your arrow appears right as his head appears, before he has like a chance to pick a direction and start going that way.
It's not usually where you want to fall to do this room. I often will fall right after that second torch, and then just like Days Cloud did this time. We'll be fine though.
Schultz are in a unenviable position here. Very little magic.
Yeah, he might have to grab the pot down here. You don't usually see this. It should be fine now using the lamp for the first 3 torches and then using the fire rod for the last one.
He might have had enough magic for 3 lamp casts, but probably better safe than sorry there.
Oh, absolutely. We'll have to grab the magic refill here. The game has a tendency to have pots with what you need in places you need them, except right there.
So you saw that little bonk maneuver Schultzer just did?
Yep.
Don't do that. I'm sorry. It's slower than just walking. It's really slick looking though.
It is. I've seen that used when you don't have a fire rod to good effect. It's pretty rare that you go up GT without a fire rod, but it does happen on occasion.
I guess you have to make the choice. You know, do I want to look cool, or do I want to save a few frames?
Well, to be fair, there are people that prefer looking cool, so.
That's true.
Okay. Meanwhile, Days Cloud finishing up with Aga 2, gonna head over to Ganon.
I'm so upset right now if I'm Leviticus. You know, like I put off going to Swamp for so long, and that was like the one place I needed to go, and then I finally get my go mode, and I go all the way to Pod, and where is the gosh darn big key?
Like I said, worst possible location.
Could not be worse. It's like, give me a break, game.
Yeah, and the failed mimic clip that we saw earlier, it just hurt him. It was such a time sink to not get anything out of that. That was, you know, whereas you saw Moogle, he just went right through with the bottle.
Okay, you can stop warping now, Ganon, please.
That was a lot of warps.
It was a lot of warps.
That really was. Not quite far enough back for a triple, but does finish him off. And Days Cloud gonna finish us off in first place, not just on the restream, but in the overall race.
Wow, spoilers, Tracy.
He's not falling off the bridge.
Well, we don't know that. Okay, now we know that.
With the official race time of 1:30:47. The GG's to Days Cloud. Shoals are conserving his magic a little bit, using one fire rod and then a lamp, but then gets the triple, so it wouldn't have even mattered. Okay, I'll wait on this one.
Our Days Cloud's in the chat. He says he's fallen off the bridge before. So you can't assume. You can't just assume.
And Shoals are finishing up in second place, not just on the restream, but overall with a 1:31:30. So GG's to Shoalser. Nicely done. And we actually have Days Cloud in the chat with us.
GG's there, guys.
Yeah, nicely done.
Yeah, I'm freaking so amazed. Like, I finished that Ganon fight, and I'm just kind of thinking to myself, okay, well, I'm gonna go open up my thing, and I'm gonna be in like 10th or something, and then I see like nobody's finished, and I'm like, wait, did it freeze? And yeah, no, I mean, because I didn't think I played that well, quite honestly. I felt like I'd run into stuff and just generally kind of oopsed a lot and kind of did things a little bit unoptimally. You know, like the seed was telling you, like, go to Ice Palace and go to Desert, and you should, if you do that before you go to the mountain, then you could have cleared TR immediately. So I'm figuring somebody did that. So
well,
there's, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people went to the mountain first. Of course, the big thing was that bow.
Or not even the bow, the hookshot.
Well, that too. Yeah, that's true. Because hookshot ended up being hard required, as it turns out.
I feel like the bow and swamp, you know, that's pretty easy to discern. Like, after you've done all your crystals, like, swamp just is the best place to be. But you have to have the hookshot for that to be the case, and not everyone had that hookshot, with it being in that one out of the way location in Graveyard Ledge.
Well, that makes sense then, because like, yeah, just I mean, once it came around to choosing where to go for that bow. It was either swamp or either crystal.
Go check pod.
Yeah, crystal pod or eastern. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't want to do that. It's gonna be in swamp. It's always in swamp. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm pretty sure it's behind the hook shot. So I mean, I didn't check left side or anything. I was just like, let me just go straight back. And the moment I got it, I was like, oh, cool. I opened one more chest. I was just like, did you put 2 of them back here?
Yeah, and unfortunately for Leviticus and Moogle they avoided swamp. Both did the pod dive. We also have Shoulder joining us. GG's to you.
GG. Yeah, that seed was something. I honestly thought it was a hover seed all the way through, but then I found the bow on back of Swamp and was like, yeah, that's the reason nobody finished yet.
now, do either of you hover if it had come to that?
Nope.
Maybe more than bounds. I was thinking about doing it. Probably would have tried it and failed, but yeah.
As it turns out, like I said, it did end up being a hard required hook shot, so it wouldn't have been an issue. But yeah, in a bad spot, especially for those runners that did the boots checks early and couldn't pair them in with the graveyard ledge.
I think I was lucky enough to check Aghanim, number check really early, so I knew I had to do Aga. That helped me out a lot after finding the Fire Lord. But yeah. 5 hearts or 7 hearts. Ice Palace is still hard.
Yeah, it was pretty low health early on.
I think I had 5 hearts for forever, and so like that was part of the reason why I was going. You know, I know the seed's telling me to go Ice Palace because just of the order I got everything of getting the flippers and getting the fire rod at the same time. So I'm going, yeah, it wants me to go to Ice Palace, but I was just kind of at the same time I'm going, I'm on green mail and like 5 hearts. It's like. Yeah. I've got other things I can do. Let me go do those.
It was nice to know that Ice Palace was indeed hookshot locked, so hookshot could not be in like any.
That's right.
Any
that first big key.
Place. Yeah, and both small keys on the right side made it pretty obvious.
Yeah, and you have to get in that big key right away. Is kind of nice, especially I forget who did and who didn't hit the switch, but the big key right away makes it so if you're doing Icebreaker and you don't hit that switch, it's not going to punish you. So
it still can, like if it's like a small key on a Coldster, and then one in like Ice Tea.
Yeah, the bad thing is if there's one small key in the big chest and one small key in that's
yep.
best.
It's pretty uncommon though. Like it's pretty safe to not hit the switch if you have the big key already.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing I noticed. So you weren't. I mean, the only way you could have had a better sword for the Cold Stare fight is if you left Ice Palace with the Quake and got up to Turtle Rock. Nobody does that. So you're pretty much stuck on a Master Sword Cold Stare. So.
Yeah, at least we had enough money. I bought 2 that potions, so I felt 100% safe going in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kind of annoying being a fluteless seed, but like going to buy potions was never something you could do really conveniently. You were forced to like double dip that one little shop for reds and no blues.
Yeah, I also mistaked in the middle and thought that Maya was a crystal, and so I forgot to actually clear Desert Palace while I did the Bombus tablet. So I got maybe half a minute there. But I also
I think we just thought you were hoping for that flute to show up and do it that way. But, you know, in that situation, you don't really want the flute to show up, at least before you're in go mode, because you don't want that other option of Mire, and it's green pendant Mire, and just not that we thought anyone was going to do it, but you know, just keep that off the table.
I was like thinking to myself the moment I saw Mire was a thing that I was just telling myself, don't expect to see the flute. You're probably not going to see the flute today, and now that I'm looking at it, I'm kind of wondering where the heck it could be.
Ice Armors, top of GT.
Yeah, that's
lots of places.
Probably it.
Lots of places.
I mean, no one full cleared swamp, so. Yeah. I'm willing to bet that. I mean, I can't say for everybody in the race, but every one of you, everyone on Restream, every one of you had bow as your go mode, so
That's not surprising at all.
no, not at all.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way for it to not be your go mode with
Yeah.
reasonable routing.
Yeah.
Yeah, GG's dude, I have to go, Sally. So, see ya.
Thank you. And congratulations again. Okay, well, Vitica's about to get his big key. We got Moogle Charm climbing the tower. Doesn't quite get the one round on Moldorm. Sorry, Landmo 2.
Yeah, sometimes the Lamos, they just don't agree with you.
So, Days Cloud, is this your first qualifier, or have you done a few already?
This is the first one that counts.
What?
Oh, uh-oh.
What does that mean?
I did a dumb the other day. I got up at I couldn't sleep one night. I got up at it was 5:30 in the morning, and one of the qualifiers was running, and I'm just kind of going to myself, sure, why not? I'll jump in. So I jump in. I have a decent enough time, but I didn't realize that because the delay, I put up a picture, but just to kind of for people to look at, this starts here. Don't worry about it. Here's a picture to look at until then, right? I didn't realize that I had left the picture over the top of my feet.
Oh no!
So
Oh.
I got my butt DQ'd.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, so finishing first there actually feels pretty good.
Yeah, I bet.
Pretty surprising, but I'll definitely take it there. Also, it doesn't help that I cut my delay because I was so tired at the time. I'm just like, yep, doop. Oh wait, I did something bad.
Well, they're gonna drop your best and your worst scores.
Yep.
So you got both of those out of the way.
Yep.
Yeah, it sure did.
Yeah, I've got the other 3 to go here now. I've just got to find 3 more of these to do at some crazy times. Actually, I think I'm gonna take off because it's 2 a.m. here, so I'm gonna go to bed.
Okay, well then, good night to you then.
Yep. Take care, guys. Thanks for
you
the
too.
restream, and thanks to the trackers and everybody else.
Trying to think of where in the world it's 2 a.m. right now.
Not in the U.S.
I guess Eastern Asia?
Something like that. Oh, here we go. South Korea. Wow.
Hey, that's in Eastern Asia. Got him.
You got it. You got it. All right, Moogle Charm into his Ganon fight. Again, with gold sword, silvers, shouldn't be too much trouble here.
Oh. 1,000 warps later.
Yeah, for those of you that may not know, the number of warps the first Ganon fight is always going to be the same for all the runners. If you do die or fall, the second time you go in, then all bets are off.
It's funny to think about that it is possible for the fastest way to kill Ganon, it would be to immediately die and get a new RNG. But you can't know that.
I thought about that. Yeah,
there's no way to know that that would be the case.
Oh, missing that sword swipe there.
Is this a thing everybody does to set up, like, try to set up the triple like that?
I have not seen that.
I mean,
Triple's nice.
I'll do it, like, if I miss the torch glitch or something,
Yeah.
but I always try for the torch glitch at least.
Okay, Moogle finishing off Ganon.
Just as Leviticus drops down.
And Moogle Charm finishing 3rd place on our restream, 9th place overall with an official race time of 1:43.55. In between, we have Hula Ninja in 3rd, Tam in 4th, Dataplet in 5th, Crystal 6th, 7th, Hayfield 7th, and Doomtap 8th. So GG's to all our runners. I believe there's about 25 or so runners in this race altogether.
29.
29.
Yeah, and I think it's important to remember for the runners especially. Your placement doesn't matter, right?
Your actual time.
Yeah, the actual finish time is what matters. So if you're the 100th person to finish within 1 minute of first place, you got a really good score.
Yeah.
But if you're 3rd place, but you finished like 20 minutes behind first place, then you probably didn't get that great of a score.
Yeah. And Leviticus gonna, in his Ganon fight, dealing with his warps.
All the warps. Wow.
So many
rude.
warps. And actually, it's kind of funny. All the warps were early on, and then no more. Gets the early silver shot. Yeah, you want lamp or fire rod, either one. Okay, gets the torch glitch. Don't really need it here, but it's nice to get. Almost got the triple. And that'll do it for Leviticus. As he crosses the bridge with an official time of 1:46.09, finishing in 15th place overall. In between, we had, this time I'll give the times, we have Chemo with a 1:44.43, Matt Cap in 11th with a 1:45 flat, 12th was Vortex of Doom with a 1:45.25, and 13th we have Red Brick Road with a 1:46.04, and 14th we have Tito with a 1:46.04. So again, GG's to all our runners.
GG.
All right. Well, while we'll wait to see if either of our runners will choose to remaining runners choose to join us, let's take a look at the upcoming schedule here. I do believe there's a daily coming up in about an hour. That'll of course not be a qualifier.
Mystery race, I think.
Is that what that is? Let me take.
So.
I can take a look real quick. It is indeed a mystery race. It looks like it's not even a friendly mystery race, so all sorts of weird things could happen there.
As friendly isn't actually friendly. So.
Yeah, well, I know you had this. I know you had the sword.
I was so upset.
Friendly swordless. Like, how is that friendly?
Never again.
But our next qualifier looks like to be Tuesday, tomorrow at 6:20 p.m. and then another one on Wednesday at 9:20 p.m. So look for those. I'm not going to read off all the qualifiers. There are a lot of them. But looks like they're going from now until next Wednesday, September 30th. So lots of chances for if you're thinking of entering this tournament. Lots of chances to go ahead and qualify. Lots of chances to watch. Real exciting time with SG Live coming up. All sorts of really cool things. I'm going to shout out a few other things that are going on there. Especially a couple of them that are near and dear to my heart, because Link to the Past, one of my favorite games. We also have some We also have some Super Metroid stuff going on, a double anti-bingo, a randomizer, and an any percent. We have SMZ3 coming up. We have, let's see, what else do we have? We have, I believe, Ocarina of Time, Aria of Sorrow. I believe those are both the randomizers. Final Fantasy Rando. Castlevania. I think that's the one thing that's not a randomizer, but all sorts of really cool stuff coming up on SG Live. So it's a real exciting time.
Event going to be all online this year. It's normally a on-site event. You'd have to like travel and buy a ticket and everything.
A little sad about that because I was planning on going, but next year hopefully.
Now you can share it with even more people.
Yeah, and that is the upside. Is a lot of people that wouldn't otherwise be able to participate in these tournaments are going to be able to participate in these tournaments. And if you aren't already, be sure to follow these runners, as our tracker Red Armor has put the command in chat. And again, thank you to our trackers Red Armor and Revolving Ocelot for doing the hard work behind the scenes. Tracking is not easy, and I swear, QuitSwap. The one bad thing about QuitSwap, it does make tracking harder, I believe. So, yeah, I hear the boy guy streams a lot too. So, yeah, go ahead and follow him as well, and our trackers.
I've been known to, I guess. It's happened before.
Oh, good. Okay, so I'm not lying. So that's good.
Welcome.
Oh, we've got Moogle Charm.
Moogle Charm. GG's. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
GG's.
Yeah.
That
that bow and that hook shot.
Yeah. Well, and for me, those deaths. That was like those were like the worst boss fights, like collectively I've had in a very long time. But yeah, the bow and the hook shot, not cool.
Yeah, because it seemed like you and Leviticus were really avoiding swamp. Our other runners, Scholzer and Days Cloud, went there a lot faster.
Where was the other death? I know you died to the
blind.
Blind fight
Was one.
What was the other one?
I died to the crab. Like I stuck out my sword to charge it to kill the crab right outside Ice Rod Cave, and then it clipped me. And then I died to blind, and then I lost my magic on Trinex.
Yeah, the Trinex
the
magic
Trinex
fight.
fight.
Yeah, that I remember. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
And then-
remember. 'Cause I was really worried that you didn't know about the pot with the magic in it.
Well, and for
Yeah,
a second there, I
really-
thought you were gonna save and quit instead of mirror.
Yeah, I was really close to doing that, and then I was like, "Oh wait, I should just kill myself," and then.
Oh yeah,
start
that's
it.
right. Instead
I forgot
of
about the mirror, but yeah. And
well,
then my
even killing
game
yourself is the
character-
same, you know. But yeah,
Yeah.
saving and quitting would have been bad.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, the going to swamp, it was, I mean, I continue to have crystal dungeons to do, right? So
Yep.
I figured I'll take care of ice, and then that opened up TR, so it was like, well, let's go up to TR, and then I could do Hookshot Cave while I'm up there, and Spike Cave. So things were opening up, and then after checking the shovel, I was going to go, for some reason I was thinking of going to Skull Woods, and then I'm like, oh wait, I should just like get the big keys out of Pod and Eastern and hope that there's a bow in there. And of course there wasn't. And at that point I just had Skull Woods and Swamp left. So it's like, well, Swamp has more checks, so let's go there.
Mm.
Where was the lamp? In the back
Skull
of
Woods.
Skull Woods.
Skull Woods.
In the front.
Front.
Oh, okay. All right. I figured if it was in the back, that could have tripped up some people.
Yeah.
I'm fairly positive that everybody in the entire race did all of their crystals before going into swamp. So I like the whole Turtle Rock time loss or whatever. It's not really that big a deal because everybody does it. I feel like the entire seed just came down to when you find the hook shot. Because if you have the hook shot earlier, then swamp looks like a good play earlier, and then you can get your bow earlier. But if it's a late hook shot, then you put off swamp for a lot longer.
And that hookshot location was not a nice one. So for those people that did the boots checks before, not with Graveyard Ledge, makes that location so much worse.
Oh yeah, I had my mitts super early, so I ended up basically, isolating Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah, you were not the only person to do Dark Aga either.
Yeah, I think we had 2 Dark Agas and 2 not Dark Agas on Restream.
Yeah, that felt pretty good, especially after dying to blind. It was like, oh, here we go. Like, I got to try it. And I ended up getting enough magic to have a few fire rod shots and ended up getting through it okay.
Yeah, kind of a monk ass situation, right? Because you don't do it that often.
Right, and I think I only had like 5 hearts at the time, maybe 6. But
Pretty terrifying.
Yeah, everybody was low health going into Aga with or without the fire rod.
yeah,
By a guard and fall off a ledge and like, oh wow, there goes half my hearts. Okay.
Yep.
yeah.
That's
All right. Anything else you want to add before we start wrapping things up?
No, I'm good. Thanks for putting me on Restream. Thanks to you guys for calming and for tracking and everything. And yeah, GG's.
GG.
Yeah, GG's to you. Okay, well, I know I have to take off. I don't know if Koi wants to stick around. Looks like Leviticus may be able to join us for just a little bit.
Set up room.
So I'm going to leave it to you to do that, and I am going to take off. I will thank you, Koi, for joining me on commentary, and of course to our trackers, Red Armor and Revolving Ocelot. I can't say enough about them, and to all our runners, not just the ones on restreams and the one off. And it looks like we have Leviticus here right now. I'm going to say GG's, and I'm going to go ahead and take off. And thank you all.
All right, thanks, Tracy. All right, hey Leviticus, GG, how you doing?
Hello there. Yeah. Wow.
Fun seed. Excellent seed. The best seed.
Super awesome. Yeah. I think that I should have probably. I wish I checked Graveyard Ledge before I went to Pod and EP for no reason. That was great. But I am.
You had the lamp early, right? Like you were one of the ones who got the lamp early.
To Skullwoods to check the front, and I got lamp there, and then locked myself in the front half, and had to save and quit anyway. But that was fine because I wanted to go do Aga 1 and get the hammer anyway, so it wasn't a huge deal.
You were in a conspicuous position where when it came down to like where is my next progression item, your choices were Pod and Eastern without the bow, Swamp without the hook shot, or go get one item in Skullwoods. You know,
Didn't forget about any. My plan originally was to go through the North Dark World and then loop down to Pod and Eastern even if I didn't find the bow, and then thought, hey, I've got the hammer. It's a qualifier. Let's take a gamble. Let's just go straight to Pod and Eastern, and that was a horrible idea.
No, I think it was a decent gamble. It didn't pay off today, you know, and I lost you.
Yeah, that's true.
A bit of time, but I think in your position, because Skullwoods was only one item, I think it made a lot more sense to go to Pod for you.
Yeah, that's fair. Maybe I just think it would have been better.
Other runners didn't get that lamp, so like for them, Skullwoods looked better because it was 2 items now plus Graveyard Ledge.
That's true. I just think it was more efficient to go through North and then down to Pod anyway, just to loop it all together. It just would be more efficient, a little more conservative, but sometimes you got to gamble.
Yeah, I mean, like, and then there's a difference between like a 1v1 race and these big qualifiers.
Yeah,
because you don't have to get first place, you don't have to get 5th place, you don't have to get 10th place. You just have to have a decent time.
Exactly.
To get a good score.
That's okay. I played the first qualifier without quick swap and didn't have a great seed then either. So now I feel like I don't really have a seed to give. Now I have to play really well in the next 3 that I do. I don't know.
You'll do fantastic.
I don't know where the cutoff is exactly, but we'll see what happens.
It'll evolve as we get through more of the qualifiers.
I would like to know though, since everyone else on Restream found them and I didn't, where were Gold Sword and Powder? Like what? I couldn't believe that
Powder.
Everyone else found them. I didn't.
Gold Sword was in GT. I want to say in the
that
compass
makes
room.
sense. That makes sense. Yeah.
I have no idea about Powder. I don't even remember. Probably in GT too.
They were both.
They were both in compass room. I see. Okay. Well, there you go. I don't notice things that don't matter.
Did everyone other than me do Dark Magician strats? Is that what happened?
Yeah, everybody did Pink Magician, so they did left.
Is that
right?
Is that just the meta now?
I think Pink Magician is probably the most popular route nowadays.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
Also, everyone seemed to have more hearts containers than me. I don't know. It seemed weird that everybody who even like they finished
Oh, yeah, you're
faster. And
right.
obviously, I made the bad gamble,
I guess they
but
were.
everyone seemed to
maybe
find
they were
more safety
contestants
and
or-
quality of life than me. I have no idea. Craziness.
Yeah, I don't know
was
what happened with
shocked
the
by that.
hearts. Because I mean, you probably did the more checks, right? So like, why would you have fewer?
Exactly. I
Hearts?
felt like I must have checked more things, taking
That's not
longer, and yet
fair.
everyone had more stuff. Yeah, exactly. It was mind-boggling to me. I couldn't believe everyone had more things than I did, even though I probably ended up doing more checks. I felt like I didn't skip very much in the end.
So
That's how
looking
it
at
goes, I
the finished collection rates, yours is one of the lower collection rates.
Really?
Yeah,
I
Days
think
Cloud has 162.
really.
Yours is 151.
Wow.
How does that happen? I don't even know.
I mean, doing Dark Magician means that they did like 5, maybe 6 checks I didn't. No, like 4 checks I didn't do. Then other than that, maybe like I skipped Purple Chest, again, skipped a couple things. I also noped out of Swamp. Maybe they finished it. Who knows? Hookshot Cave. I never did Hookshot Cave. There's a lot of checks I didn't do, I guess.
Oh yeah,
But they were also split apart. They were more just ways to like try to stem the bleeding than actually like try to get ahead. Like skipping those.
With the way the seed was laid out, everyone has BOGO mode, and I really just how quickly you finish just comes down to when did you get the hook shot and when did you decide that Swamp looks like a good play.
Yeah, pretty much. Unfortunately, if Graveyard Ledge came too late.
If you had the hook shot though, you probably would have gone to Swamp instead of Pod, I bet.
Yeah, I'm almost certain. I probably would have just stopped there. Because I probably would have checked King's Tomb, then I would have stopped there and gone to Swamp. I would have skipped Catfish and Pod and everything, and that would have been amazing. That's not how it goes though sometimes.
Yeah, I mean that's rando for you. I think we're about ready to wrap it up. Do you have anything else to add about how awesome this seed was and how much you love Randomizer?
Well, it's 2 out of 2 for horrible seeds. My first qualifier was bottlenecked by a fighter sword on Catfish. This seed was hookshot on Graveyard Ledge. I can't wait to see what qualifier 3 brings. I'm sure it'll be awesome.
So you got the bad seeds out of the way, so now everything's going to be awesome from here on out.
Yeah, I mean, knock on wood. Yeah, hopefully.
I'm sure it's going to go great. Well, thanks so much, Leviticus, for joining us. GG's again.
Thanks so much. Take care.
And Twitch chat, hey, don't forget more SpeedGaming awesomeness on all of the SpeedGaming channels. I think there's like 20 of them, but mostly the first 5 have all the good stuff. So check those out. And we will see you next time. Have a wonderful day, night, evening, whatever. See you later, guys.